Hi, I'm Gretchen Swanson, and you are in the midst of Rose Park neighborhood, which is a gem of a neighborhood in Long Beach. It's a 100-year-old neighborhood, and you're standing right here adjacent to a building that was started in the late 1800s and has been reshaped and preserved in a lot of character. The neighborhood works as a benefit to the community, and that's an odd idea for a lot of neighborhoods, but neighborhoods that take action understand what I'm talking about. So the deal with the alley is that we're in a historic district, so we had to get permission, and so there were all these little obstacles. But because people persevered, it happened. It was great. If we think about it with all the rules, it's an impossible idea. So here is the connection for us here in Rose Park, is that alleys have been created now from a regulatory point of view, an ordinance for the use of trash trucks. I know it seems odd, but the whole thing, except for 15 minutes of every week when the trash truck comes down here, these are supposed to be left open and available, no overhead lines, and so on and so forth. Which means that it never really gets used for what it should be used for, which are people. So we've got to really reconstruct that relationship between trash cans, the trash that accumulate, the trash trucks, all of that. And that's an easy way for us as individuals, collectively in neighborhoods, to gain this incredible space. The best thing for a neighborhood group to do is to step back and let the residents have their voice. So there wasn't an approval process. We tried not to create any hoops. There were already hoops present from the city that we had to go through. There were hoops for fundraising. There was hoops just trying to get people interested enough, long enough to actually make it happen. And for myself is to step back and just provide any collateral support, that mostly psychological, like, yeah, you can do it. Yes, this is good. Yes. And so the grill came out with faux hot dogs and a lot of potato salad, and people's like, whoa, what's happening? I could spend some cool time. And then other artists helped artists, and all of a sudden kids were playing, doing chalk down here while their parents were trying to figure out how to paint the stencils up there. And it was something nice. So Cody Lusby, the artist, created these great stencils, and a couple weeks before the big implementation date, he stenciled all of these on there with chalk and then numbered. So this might be number 3 and this might be number 5. You would be given a pot of 3 or a pot of 5 and asked to go and find your place. And so it all of a sudden, after several hours, you had a collection of roses on the wall. But it had been broken down into all doable parts. Okay, there are these little green signs on the top of our street signs that imply this is a bike route. And that was installed a couple of years ago. And here's the deal. We thought it was a great idea. We heard that it would calm the traffic, but what it does is actually maintain speed through the neighborhood. So now, as I approach this intersection, I don't know if this car is going to slow down because they don't know who has the right of way. So these circles have become circles of confusion, not of clarity. It hasn't allowed us to increase our pedestrian mobility. I would say my parting point here is that if you're going to design something that could be lovely, like a traffic circle, is that you really think about the pedestrian first. Even if it's a bike boulevard, a residential street with cars, whether they're scooters or skateboards, you have to think about the pedestrian first because they're the least guarded and they're the slowest in all these conditions. So the building up the concept really needs to have that pedestrian point of view first and build everything else around it.